don't know who's more of a star witness for the prosecution at this point. Is it Donna Adelson or is it her brother Robert Adelson? Day 2 of Donna Adelson's trial wrapped up on Monday, and it looks like the defense may have turned on Wendi. It's a great day for a great day. My name is Sydney Rushing. I'm a criminal defense attorney in the state of Michigan. Now let's talk about it. Starting off the day was witness number 7, Jason Newland, who is an investigator with the prosecutor's office. He discussed the divorce filings that were shared from Wendi to Donna and Donna's response to those filings. I called Dan a narcissist, an idiot, and a religious zealot. Called Dan a piece of shit when his team wanted to depose her. That Donna had told Wendi that it's your turn to basically show us this performance over the next few weeks. You got to put on the best performance of your life. And this was shortly before the divorce trial. Basically, they used this witness to show that Donna had nasty things to say about Dan, that she was creating action plans, and essentially that Donna knew the family was losing in family court and was going to lose in the upcoming grandparent hearing as well, which never took place because Dan was unalived. And the one that everyone has been waiting for, Wendi Adelson, was called to the stand as witness number 8. Remember, she is the daughter of Donna Adelson and was the wife of Dan Markell, and is kind of like the nexus between all of this. Was testifying under limited immunity, meaning whatever she testified to couldn't be used against her. It did cross over to the cross-exam. However, the defense was limited in what they could ask her. They could only ask her what was on direct. And this is simply because the defense cannot offer her immunity, so they can't go outside of those topics. Before Wendi testified, her attorney put it on the record that Wendi would have asserted her Fifth Amendment right if she wasn't given that immunity. This is also known as CYA, or covering your ass. Throughout all of this testimony, there was lots of Wendi saying, I don't know, and the prosecutor literally giving her the answer with corroborating evidence. She started off by saying that when it came to this $1 million, her mom, dad, and brother were gonna pay Dan that for the kids to relocate to Miami, that she had no parts in the payment, and that she didn't think it was gonna work. Although she didn't recall it, there was an email saying where Donna said that she pretended to be Wendi and called some financial institutions. They had her agree that mom wanted Dan to have a mental health evaluation and that, he was this, professional and that he was well established and this, great, professor. And I'm going to just disagree with the prosecution on that a little bit, because just because someone is a professional or, has a great outlook doesn't mean they don't have mental health issues. Let's be real here. Professionals have issues too. She said that Donna called Dan's a bunch of names, an asshole, a piece of shit, a bully. And they called him gibbers. They talked a lot about Wendi's divorce and how hands-on Mama Donna was. Donna referred to herself as her South Florida legal team, by the way. Wendi said that she wouldn't ask all the questions that Donna wanted her to ask her attorneys, but she would ask the ones that made sense. Donna had an action plan for the kids to pretend to be Christian. Donna was even gonna pay for this, but Wendi said she would never do that. There was a break in the middle of this testimony because it was very tedious, and they actually had lunch as well. Wendi denied having a conversation with her ex-boyfriend where she said that Charlie had basically tried to find all these options to solve the problem, which included a hitman. She said that her mom may have known that Dan was traveling the next day after the incident because her mom kind of kept track of Dan and where he went, and because that's just who she was, essentially. Her and the kids left about 48 hours after the incident. She said that she was planning for a weekend, but then she did confirm that she wasn't living in Tallahassee. She said at the time her parents found out that the incident happened that they sounded relieved and surprised. And then the defense started their cross-examination, and did they turn on her? They had Wendi confirm that Donna actually sounded shocked when she found out what happened. She agreed that she was attracted to Dan, that they sometimes had a happy marriage and things like that. They had her confirm that the bribe that the prosecutor tried to frame the $1 million as was for relocation expenses. It was not for Dan to not have the kids. He confirmed that Dan liked Miami, that Dan tried to get a job at the University of Miami, and that this was not a bribe to take the kids, but to help with relocation expenses and offset those. She said she'd never take 100% custody away from Dan. Dan loved the kids and the kids loved Dan. He was questioned about changing the children's name to Adelson. They questioned her about testifying that Donna hated Dan and said that actually she was babysitting and she made him his favorite banana bread. And then Wendi basically said well, I knew she was really mad at him. And the defense okay, well, those are two totally separate things. She said that her and Dan probably would have resolved things peacefully if she would have taken relocation off the table. Wendi did not tell her mom that she stipulated to the rejection of the relocation and that it was a final order. Defense made it clear that the emails from Donna stopped after that order was entered, and that essentially she probably would have stopped that in June when Wendi stipulated to this if she would have told her mom. Essentially, if she would have stopped trying to keep up these appearances for Mama Donna. She then said she didn't remember testifying that she hated Danny at the time, and defense called for a break because they wanted to check the transcripts. Upon return of the break, the defense questioned her about an email that she sent in 2013 where she said that she didn't love Danny, she didn't love Danny on the honeymoon, that she knew that she really didn't want to be with him or wasn't in love with him, but that he wanted to settle down and start a family, and that's what she wanted. Then the defense said, you said that anybody that was involved in this should be charged and held accountable. And Wendi said yes. And the defense goes, and that includes you. And she said, anyone who did this. Prosecutors then shot back and stated that Donna maybe loved her grandkids a little too much. Then the prosecutor talked about how she had these action plans, that Donna was manipulative, and that she had to have her way, and that Dan wouldn't give it to her. And that was it for Wendi. Will she be charged next? Who knows? And then witness number 9, Robert Adelson, was called to the stand. This is Wendi's brother and Donna's son, and this testimony may have hurt worse than Wendi's. He usually said that Donna was the head of the family, that his father was like more past, like go by the flow, and that Donna was very controlling of their lives. Duh, we already knew this. Said that Wendi played damsel in distress during her divorce. Defense had a lot of objections during his testimony, basically saying that this was all hearsay. He said it was odd for Wendi to have texted him stuff about her love life, and this was just before the incident happened. He told the FBI about Jeff, who was Wendi's boyfriend, who Wendi's parents were not aware of. He said that Donna called him and texted him after the incident, and then texted him saying, tragedy here, please call. He said that she told him that Dan had been shot, that she was very matter of fact, and that she wasn't crying. He was a little sketched out about the story because they said that he had been shot at the front door, which obviously we know wasn't true, and he was kind of skeptical as how that they would know that. He said that Donna told him not to talk to cops, and that when he told her that he did, she responded with, you don't know anything anyways. When Garcia and Rivera were arrested, he called Donna to let him know that they got the people who shot Dan, and she remained silent, and he repeated himself several times, and then she just said, I've got to go, and hung up. And he said that's the last time that he talked to his mom. Defense clarified that a family friend who's an attorney is the one who actually reached out to the family and advised them all not to talk to law enforcement. Then the state called witness number 10, Bill Brandon, who's a Tallahassee police officer. He responded on the day of the incident, and he's the one who kind of like secured the crime scene. He said that a vehicle matching Wendi's pulled up to the roadblock and essentially just drove away. Like there was no hesitation, just went up and went away, whereas other cars kind of like tried to process it and look at it and then turn away. There was no hesitation. The defense had no questions for this witness. And then the jury was sent home for the day and told to come back on Tuesday at 8:45 a.m. for day 3 of this trial. I personally think that Robert Adelson took the cake for being the state's star witness over Wendi, because what he said was actually damaging. Saying that they got the people, Donna was silent, and then just said, I've got to go. That things didn't add up, that Wendi wouldn't have normally done this, like all of this stuff, right? He's clearly not involved at all, and he's making that very well known. That is it for your day 2 recap. Thank you for being here, and thank you for following along. And here's my question of the day. Do you think Robert Adelson's testimony was more hurtful to the defense, or was Wendi's? Or who was more helpful for the prosecution? Let me know in the comments.